Good morning and welcome to the Sunday Morning Sports Podcast on this special Super Bowl 60 edition. All NFL all the time. We will definitely be talking about the Super Bowl coming up here and some related facts to it. 59 years ago, Super Bowl number one started February 15th, 1967. And that was between the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe. Yes. And we've made it 60 years to now. The New England Patriots going against the Seattle Seahawks. I know we got one member on this panel that's very excited, and that's Keith Engel. And again, welcome everybody. Sonia, James, and Jack. I am BA. Hope everybody's doing good this fine Sunday morning. I know a couple of y'all are kind of warm. And a few of us are freezing our behinds off. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. How's everybody feeling this morning? How's everybody feeling on Super Bowl Sunday?
Great.
Meh? Yay?
Yay.
Ready to rumble. Bring it.
Just a by the way, just a little breaking news that happened. That's not Super Bowl related. But we gotta mention it. Lindsey Vonn had a crash this morning, got airlifted to the hospital. So I think her skiing time is done now.
Absolutely.
I think she can just put all that stuff underneath her and say, I gave it my best shot. I couldn't do it. So she's got enough accolades. She's got enough gold medals. She's one of the most winningest women in that particular field. So prayers out to Lindsey. You gave it your best shot, girl. But it
That's
is
the only story I cared about in this Olympics was Lindsey Vonn's comeback. That's all I cared about.
Yeah, well,
So I witnessed it. Oh wow, is there a pun here? So I witnessed that crash, and I heard her scream, man. It's just this was sort of predictable, honestly. I've torn 2 ACLs, and I know the grind it takes to actually come back from it after repair. She's going in her right knee with a partial knee replacement, and her left knee with a ruptured ACL that's unrepaired at 41.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that she could still make a comeback, but the odds were greatly against her. And this crash, I mean, she screamed out loud. You can hear it over the commentator in awe of what was going on. And it's just unfortunate. I don't know who her team is, but ultimately the decision was hers. I would have shut it down, but I mean, this hindsight 2020, so.
Yeah, her teammate.
I hope she has a good recovery, though.
Her teammate who qualified for a medal, she just didn't. She was either, you can see the look on her face is like, I'm in a medal contention. Should I be happy, or I just saw a horrific accident to my teammate? I don't know what to feel at this point. So it's the Olympics are always full of emotion. There's the ups and the way downs. And that's the beauty of this of the Olympics part of it, So anyway, on that note, it is again Super Bowl Sunday. Keith,
yes, sir.
I'm going to talk to you about Super Bowl Sunday since your team is into New England Patriots, led by Coach of the Year Mike Vrabel, and your young dynamic quarterback May. How do you feel about the Super Bowl right now? I mean, what are you looking forward to in this game besides winning?
I'm looking forward to probably having to win ugly again because, again, they played already 3 great defenses in the playoff. I think 3 of the top 5, and this might be the best one they're going to face yet. They haven't been able to keep Drake May upright. He's made some mistakes. We have to stay away from all of that today, or at least minimize it. I mean, they're going to get to him. We know that. You got to minimize the mistakes, find a way to get rid of the football when you can, and not turn it over. Run the football, minimize mistakes, and get to Sam Darnold on the other side. You got to get in his face, and they've done that in the playoffs with quarterbacks and rattled them. And as well as Sam Darnold played, and I give him credit for how he played in the NFC Championship game, you can still rattle. I still believe you can rattle Sam Darnold, and that's the Patriots' path to victory. I think it will be, if they win, it will be an ugly football game. Of course, if they lose, it'll probably be ugly as well because
They lost, right?
it could get ugly for them if they were to, start turning the ball over. I don't see that happening. But this, as good as these defenses they played, I don't think any of them are as good as this one. Statistically, we know they aren't, right, by points and whatnot. I don't think it's, this isn't one where I can go in and say, be really, really confident that we're coming out with a victory like I might have been during the Brady years. This team reminds me a lot. I've told the people list for a couple of weeks now. Reminds me a lot of the first Super Bowl winners, a lot of 2001, 2002 season. Drake May, Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady yet, right? Tom Brady was like Drake May is kind of today. Maybe not even as good as Drake May is today. And they found ways to get it done and get victories, and that's what they have to do today. Continue to do it. All you have to do is survive and advance. There's only one more game to survive, and that's what I'm looking forward to today. I think it'll be a really good game.
And if the Patriots win, who's going to be your MVP? Who do you think is going to be the MVP?
Well, quarterbacks, you get it, right? Drake May could have a bad game and lead him on a game-winning drive and win it, like Brady did in 2002. Quite frankly, he didn't have a good game. He had a good drive to get a field goal. I'm going to go out. I'm going to say something different. I say if they win, Booty gets the MVP. How about that? I'll go out on a limb. Booty's your MVP if they win. They got to find a way to get the ball to him because he makes big catches.
I'm going to tell
That's
you
my
who
favorite guy's name.
I can't see for the life of me Stefon Diggs becoming MVP. He could catch 15 passes, and they'll look for a reason not to give it to him. I think they'll go out of their way not to
Probably
give it
true.
to him.
We were all thinking that.
I was literally.
But I agree with you, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
But he likely will be, and I was going to say he likely would be more of a candidate than Keyshawn Booty. I would say Stefon Diggs is going to get a lot of targets coming his way, and if he's double covered, then maybe Keyshawn Booty will be the guy. But don't count out your rookie. I mean, if they win, I like Travion Henderson to be the X factor here. Because that. Yeah, exactly.
You know who? I tell you, if they win this game and they shut down the passing game, Gonzalez might be the MVP because he's got to shut down. Oh God, what I can never say.
I was going to mention Christian Gonzalez.
Don't say like the comedian Drewski and say the N word. It's Jackson Smith in Jigba. Yes.
I don't remember. I don't think a kicker's ever won Super Bowl MVP. Did Vinatieri get it one year?
No, I don't think he did. Brady won for all those.
If Seattle wins a type of game where they make 6 field goals, that might be the deciding point.
Yeah, it was good. Borregales has been kicking really well. He hasn't made the kind of pressure kicks that Vinatieri made in his time with the Patriots, but he's been really good since early in the season when he missed 2 extra points in the same game and got a game ball from Vrabel that day. So, but he could be the guy I had in mind. I like it. Gonzalez is a sleeper too. If he can shut down the Jigba, that's going to be a key because nobody else is stopping him.
Which single individual, in everyone's opinion, it could be a player, coach, or owner, is the sentimental favorite in this Super Bowl?
Sam Darnold, I would think.
Yeah, I would think Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
I would go as far as saying, actually, you also mentioned it doesn't have to be a player. Mike Vrabel, the way that he's led his team in the first season to the top game of all time, like you've got to give it to him, Jack.
Yeah, no, but what's interesting too? Everyone's making a big deal over Grable, the way they should. They absolutely should. But McDonald has done a tremendous job, and he seems to
Absolutely.
slip under the radar. All we hear about is
Yeah.
Grable, and well deserved. But McDonald's the quiet guy here.
Yeah, he's doing the hard work behind the scenes. It's kind of like the
100%.
paralegal to the lawyer. The lawyer wins the case, but the paralegal's done all the legwork.
Plus, he's calling the defensive plays too. I mean, I believe he's the first guy to call his own defensive plays to make it to the Super Bowl.
True.
I could be wrong, but I think I heard that.
I think I heard that.
It seems like he likes it that way. Yeah, I think he's a very quiet guy, but when they do put him in front of the microphone, he's very confident as well. So you can hear that in him, but he's just not a I need the attention type of guy.
He didn't turn them around from 4 wins, but this team wasn't predicted to be, game breakers this year either and go to the Super Bowl. So he's not. You talked about Vrabel being the coach of the year, and any one of 7 or 8 guys could have won it this year, and I would not have argued if they got it over Vrabel, quite frankly.
Yeah, even the coach that they're coaching against could have won it. I mean,
absolutely.
Nobody thought. I didn't think Seattle was going to get to the Super Bowl. I didn't even think they were going to finish, where they did in their division. I thought they're going to be last, but they.
No.
I guess it could have went either way. It's kind of like Minnesota last year. I feel with Sam Darnold. I said Minnesota could be a good team with him, or he could be Sam Darnold of the past and lay a flat. You know what I'm saying? And this is the same thing with Seattle. I went with the under because I'm just
a little bit of a caution. Sam Darnold was much better the first half of the season than the second half of the season. He's been, and he was great the last game. So he's been good in the playoffs. But I think we tend to look at the big picture more than we should in a game like this. It's how a team has been playing lately or the second half of the season and judging them. I mean, the Patriots got off to a dreadful start. I mean, it's hard to believe that the Patriots actually lost to the Las Vegas Raiders in the opener, the same Raiders that have the first overall pick in the draft. So when you compare defenses, Seattle's and the Patriots, everyone's talking about Seattle's defense. I mean, I can make an argument the Patriot defense is just as good at this point.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at their rankings, they actually have higher rankings in the top 10 for their defense than Seattle.
I think they're behind Seattle in points, which is the real one that matters to me, right? But not far.
Seattle's number 1.
They're 6th best in the league, so that's not terrible. And as Jack said, they've been getting better though. As the season's gone on, since they got, good grief, my big guy in the middle it's terrible when you're on vacation because your mind goes to mush after a couple weeks. Come on, who's my guy? Williams?
Leonard Williams?
Sorry?
Oh, you mean your guy? Your guy?
My guy. My guy.
Oh.
Came back in week 17. It'll come to me. But anyway, since he's come back, that defense has been outstanding in the end of the regular season and through the playoffs. They've been all over quarterback. Justin Herbert probably just got out of the hospital from that game because he got the snot beat out of him. So did C.J. Stroud. And, whatever with the other guy that I told you wouldn't play any good. And threw 2 good passes that game in Denver. But this defense has been really, really ramping it up. And I agree with Jack. I think they're as good. I'm not going to say they're better. I think they're as good as Seattle as we speak right now.
Now, another question. If one team is to win in a rout, I don't think anyone expects it, wins by 24 points, which of the 2 teams is most likely to win really big if such a scenario takes place?
In all honesty, I would say Seattle.
Yeah, I agree.
Is more likely. If it gets ugly. If it gets ugly, it would be Seattle.
It gets ugly, yeah.
So it's going to be on Darnold's shoulders because New England's run defense is probably top notch. It's probably up there a little bit higher than Seattle's. And not having Charbonnet is going to make a big difference here. I mean, and Kenneth Walker's been on the tear. He's had 256 total yards in the playoffs, a few TDs, and he's definitely going to face a front unless Darnold can, they can get some running and he can get play action. But Darnold, like you said, Darnold played a great game in the NFC Championship, throwing for 343 yards and 3 TDs. That's nothing to sneeze at going up against Los Angeles' vaunted defense, their front four. So
I agree, James.
you guys got to really get after him.
I agree. And as well as he's played, though, I still, if I'm the defensive game planner here, I got to make him beat me. I have to make him beat me. And it might backfire, but that's what I got to do.
What's possibly revealing, years ago when Darnold was the Jet quarterback, he had this one game against the Patriots where Darnold was completely lost. He admitted, I had no idea what I was doing out there. Was Grable affiliated with the Patriots at that time?
I believe Rabel had already moved on. He'd retired by then. Yeah.
I mean, but is that carryover? I know Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator, but is there any carryover with the coaching staff to know what to do with Darnold? The same formula would apply, kind of like the Darnold rules. Do certain things from them to throw him off.
I would not think there's a single guy in that defensive staff that was on that staff that night when he was seeing ghosts. I would think they're all gone.
I would think that you're not seeing the same Sam Darnold either.
Someone that can actually. He's not on the same team. It's a whole different team.
We'll talk about a full circle moment with him being now you guys' opponent, Keith. Of course, there's been some rumblings throughout this week about Drake May battling this throwing shoulder injury. We saw him go down in the championship game from this big hit. And you mentioned early on about keeping him upright. You got to make sure he's definitely upright because you don't want to aggravate something he's already battling with going into the big game. Have you guys actually addressed that this week verbally, through some of the coaching meetings or whatnot? Have you heard anything about what they have plans in place to kind of reinforce that? Or if he's actually being still treated for that? Because we know at least one day he didn't practice to try to preserve the soreness there, try to keep it from being as bad.
Yeah, they haven't talked a lot about it specifically, which you're not going to do, but I would expect them to be in more max protect formations, let's say, than normal. But the problem is, it's not just keeping him safe in the pocket. He's going to run, and he's going to get hit. And, if they lose, he's injured, that's not an excuse for me, right? You got to play through it. You got to figure out a way. It's the Super Bowl, and if his shoulder's hurting him, you'll never hear me use that as an excuse that they should lose today. But he's banged up, but a lot of guys are banged up after 20 weeks of football, right? So
yeah.
This is the Super Bowl. They have to have designed running plays for Drake May. It's the Super 100%. Bowl. You can't worry 100%. About injuries, getting hurt. This isn't the regular season.
We got Josh.
Same with Sam Darnold. The same with Sam Darnold. He's been dealing with that oblique injury. These guys, and everybody, both sides know what the weaknesses are, but everybody's dealing with injuries. So like he said, there's no excuse. You got to lay all the cards on the table and go. And like what Jack said, this is the Super Bowl. You got to play to win, because there's no second chances after this. It's over.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, kind of like in the design runs that they were getting for him. Make sure he's still protected as much as possible. You don't want to make it worse. You want him to play the way he already is as much as possible because he is banged up. Everybody is, but this is your leader of your team. So you want to make sure that you got these extra reinforcements in. That was my point.
And he does every now and again to make a big faux pas when he's under pressure, right? Drops a football, makes a bad pass here and there because he's a young quarterback that he still makes those mistakes. You gotta protect him for that reason as much as the injury too, because you don't want him making that big mistake at a crucial moment. They've got away with a couple in the playoffs where he turned the ball over in really bad spots and left the defense with a short field, and you don't want to do that today. That could be disastrous.
An interesting question. Of the two quarterbacks, which one is more likely to get flustered under extreme pressure?
I think it's Sam Darnold. I think.
For me, it might. Go ahead, Jack. Go ahead, Jack.
If Drake May would take off, he'd use his legs, he'd run, he'd get flushed out of the pocket. Donald would more likely throw the ball somewhere.
100%. Drake May can make busted plays into something positive. It's much harder for Darnold to do that.
I think what you can do in a Super Bowl, though, with any player, tendencies seem to go out the window. I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Darnold did his best Drake May impression and ran out of the pocket. It's a Super Bowl. Players play out of their minds in the Super Bowl. I mean, you look at Jalen Hurts. That's a prime example. Dude doesn't do nothing during a regular season. But he gets in the playoffs and he gets in the Super Bowl, that dude turns to a whole different player. It's like, where's this guy been? You know?
I can tell you, I'll be very happy to see Sam Darnold run the football as much as they want to run him today and not Kenneth Walker. So they can do that all day long.
I'm going to tell you this between the two quarterbacks, even though this might seem like a contradiction of what we just said, I get the feeling that Sam Darnold has nerves of steel going into a game like this. Very focused, very confident.
Beautiful.
I'm not sure whether Drake May has a little bit self-doubt. I'm glad James felt my analysis was great, beautiful, and, just saying a thank you.
This dude here. But yeah, I agree with you, Jack. I think Sam Darnold is not going to be the Sam Darnold of 2024 when he was with Minnesota in the last two games. What he showed to me in that NFC Championship game, I think is going to carry over into this game too. And that's what's going to have to happen for Seattle to win. I mean, both teams are great. I think both teams are pretty comparable, but the most dominant, special teams. If I had to give an edge to a team, it's definitely going to be Seattle. And you're looking at Rashid Shaheed. To me, he's an X factor. Like if you go back to 07, the Chicago Bears versus the Colts when what's Hester. My man's name? Yeah, Hester. Devin Hester ran a kickoff return. So you got to be leery of that as well, and that could change a game. That can open up. That can change shift momentum, Jack. That can shift momentum. It can also just be the deciding factor of a game. So
I can't get over Rashid leaving the Saints, the NFC South, going to that goes straight to the Super Bowl is just
the Saints weren't good. They weren't going to be able to keep him, and they valued him enough to send him to a team that's, they didn't send him to a barren land like Las Vegas or anything like that. Right. So, yes, exactly. So it was good. It was a good trade. And the Saints were compensated for it too. So it's not like they just had a charity gift there, to that team. They definitely got a fourth and a fifth for him. But yeah, I'm happy for Rashid Shaheed, and I'm glad he's in the position that he is. And again, who knows? He may come back to New Orleans. There's a discussion. He even said something like that. If Seattle doesn't lock him up in a contract, he's going to go somewhere, wherever the biggest bag is. So he'll definitely.
I've heard a lot about Shaheed the last couple of weeks, and rightfully so. He's played great, but there's a guy on the other side named Marcus Jones, who, by the way, has run a few touchdowns back himself this year and has the highest punt return average in NFL history. Yep. So let's not forget that. Absolutely. So both teams have pretty good special teams. I do give the Seattle a little bit of an edge, though, I think, on the special teams side. Because of the defensive special teams are good, too.
Chief, you're on your cruise now. You're not anywhere near the New England area, but what do you think the feeling is about Tom Brady's original remark, not having a dog in the fight? So when I have mixed feelings on it, let's put it in reverse. When Brady was quarterbacking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before the Super Bowl, imagine a poll of New England fans saying they couldn't care less whether Brady won the game with Tampa Bay. I guess his feelings would have then been hurt.
Possibly. I'm not sure why Tom did this. He obviously has mended some of the fences in New England in the last 3 years. He's come back for a lot of stuff, for his own retirement celebration and some other events. He'll be there when Belichick gets honored. He's already said that, and I'm a little surprised he went this direction. I don't think it's a big deal. I think Tom Brady's rooting for New England Patriots today. I really do. I don't care what he says. I think there's some uproar. That your original question, Jack, there is a lot of uproar in Patriot land because I've been on the message boards and they're all ripping them to shreds. To me, it's not that big a deal because I believe in his heart Tom Brady's rooting for the Patriots today.
I agree with you there, Keith. But I mean, what he's a part of an organization that's not even affiliated with the Patriots. What is he supposed to say?
I agree. I get it. That's why I'm not that worked up about it. I'm not worked.
Tom Brady is like the pettiest guy ever anyway. To figure this, he is the part of the organization that basically, when they played them, he got the benefit of the doubt of the tuck rule that got them to that point. Because
the doubt is they used the rule correctly.
They used the rule correctly. Whatever. Okay, tell Charles Woodson that. Anyway, and then on top of that, Tom Brady's always been like that. It's kind of like his ties to Michigan. You know, you don't. He's a Michigan player through and through, and he'll tell you that on side notes. You know, he'll be a Michigan alumni through and through, but he's not somebody that's out there rah 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 like Charles Woodson does all the time. Yeah,
he didn't go there for nearly 20 years. He didn't go back for nearly 20 years.
I don't know. That's because they misused him as a quarterback. But you know, I don't have any problems with that either because that was Michigan being an idiot. But
big article when he did go back to Brian, he did give some props to the University of Michigan and to Lloyd Carr for making him the quarterback that he is today because he put the chip on his shoulder that he played with his whole career.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah,
and just on top of that, but Tom Brady, he's just a petty guy, and for the fans, they're dragging him because he wasn't committing either way. He's a sportscaster. Now he's an analyst, so he can't really. I mean, it's kind of like the Tony Romo factor, the Troy Aikman factor when they're doing their teams as analysts. It's you got to kind of be professional in that sense. And to drag Tom Brady after this dude won 6 Super Bowls with him, come on, his fans are idiots. I don't understand that whole stupidity with that. The man,
you have to have been there. Believe me. They're bad. It's bad. They're the worst fans in the world. I can tell you from being in those stands, they're the worst fans ever I've dealt with in my life. I had season tickets there for 10 years, long before the Super Bowl run, the run in the 80s. And whoever wasn't playing quarterback was who they wanted to play quarterback. It didn't matter who it was. They wanted the guy who wasn't playing. And they're just going to be the worst fans in the world.
That's why
fans. The majority of fans, not the majority, I would say 50% of the fan bases of all of our teams are idiots.
Thank you, Brian. It took you a while to come around, okay? I mean, I'll tell you this. Who cares about reputation? These guys could have the greatest reputation. They could be man of the year in the NFL, this and that. And you could do that for 20 years and you make one little remark. Okay, and they'll flush it down the toilet. You saw that at New Orleans with Drew Brees, everything he did for the community. That's one thing he says taken out of context and reality, and the people in New Orleans were ready to discard him for a while. I don't know where Drew Brees lives. Does he still live in New Orleans? I don't know. But if that were me, I would have moved out of New Orleans. Screw you, I'm moving elsewhere. Who gives a darn? Don't worry about reputation if you play it. Get your money, get your paycheck. You try to win. You do everything you can for your team. You be polite to the fans. But all this fan affection, they'll turn on you at the snap of the finger. They were even turning on Derek Jeter in New York when they tried to create a narrative that he was selfish, asking for more money in a contract. They will turn on anyone, these fans.
Like a pack of dogs.
Jack's neighbors are packing his stuff up.
I like Sonia. Sonia said it's like a pack of dogs.
Good morning. Good morning to my brother. I see he's watching. He's a big Patriots fan, Keith. Thank you.
Attaboy.
This morning.
What's his name?
Marcus just made a comment. Yeah, he's been a Patriots fan since he was a kid, so he's not a bandwagon.
He's my favorite guy on the show today.
When I thought of Marcus, what did I think of Eartha Kitt when I said that?
Eartha
Oh,
Kitt.
yeah.
Nobody.
Oh my goodness, we're talking about. I got that reference. I don't think Jack or Keith has ever seen that movie
Yeah.
Boomerang with Eddie Murphy.
You used to tease
know.
Marcus and say
I've seen
that.
Boomerang.
No.
I've seen
You seen Boomerang?
Yeah.
My
Kid was in that movie?
gosh.
Guys, we were talking about the Hall of Fame before. If New England wins today, how on earth can Robert Kraft possibly not be voted in on the next ballot? You can't put Belichick ahead of him next year if the Patriots win the Super Bowl this year. They have to go in together, or you can't have Belichick without Kraft. I mean, if they win the Super Bowl and he's not in next year again, come on.
Why
I
do those
guarantee
Being in a
guys?
Jack-
Super Bowl, just like Keith alluded.
Why does he need to win this one to get in?
Right.
I don't understand.
He doesn't
No,
need
no,
to win
it's
this
If they-
long ago. I'm saying, how on earth can they keep him out?
Even if they do not win, the fact that they got to the Super Bowl this year, and the fact that there was so much controversy with Bill Belichick not getting in, I guarantee, I'm calling it right now. They're both going in together, hand in hand, stride and stride, next year in 27. They're going
I don't know what
to go in.
You would have guaranteed Belichick would have gotten in this year if he asked you that a few weeks ago. So you never know what the heck's going on. Not you individually. We never know what the heck's going on.
When is Tom Brady eligible for Hall of Fame?
2 years. 2 more years. 2 years. And I don't know what criteria they're looking at changing, but why are the Krafts and the Belichicks up against veteran players that didn't get in for the last 30 or 40 years? I don't understand how that.
First of all, let's not make this about the players, because the players are on a different level than the coaches and the owners.
That's what I'm saying. Why are they competing against players?
It's not about competing against them. That's the problem that I'm having with this whole conversation with that. It's not about that.
They are competing, Brian.
No,
but they are in the section they were in. They were getting
they're
votes
players.
from the same
Let
guys
the
as
players, the players getting in the Hall of Fame. Let the coaches
agree.
and the owners get in the Hall of Fame.
That's my
It's not got nothing to
point.
do with one or the other. It's got to do with the fact that the sports writers that are doing this kind of stuff are petty as hell. That's all there is to it, and they need to change the rules.
But they shouldn't be competing against players, which they were. The two of them were competing against Roger Craig, Kenny Anderson, and Elsie Greenwood for votes to get in. They had to get 80% of the votes against those 5 guys. They shouldn't be in the same category. You're saying the same thing, I think, Brian. But they shouldn't be, because it's these guys make the rules. Whoever the committee is that puts the Hall of Fame criteria and voters together, right? The NFL that does that. People are blaming the. I love people who are calling out the NFL for it. The NFL has nothing to do with the NFL Hall of Fame.
Nothing to do with it.
Like Major League Baseball has nothing to do with Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
Nope.
So
that's why they call it the Pro Football Hall of Fame, not the NFL, right?
Correct.
Yeah, they just need a whole new way to do this Hall of Fame. That's all they need to do.
I agree.
One of the things that took place, the forgotten man of today and all this, is Gerard Mayo, who was the coach last year, and Robert Kraft moving on from him. Could have been very controversial, him being a black coach, Gerard Mayo, having only 1 year in, and you want to give these coaches time to grow on the job. I think it was more move with Robert Kraft being able to get Mike Vrabel. If Mike Vrabel wasn't available, Gerard Mayo, I believe, still would have absolutely been given another year by Robert Kraft.
100%.
But how would the Patriots have done with Gerard Mayo? That's the question. If they went from 4-13 to 9-8, the fan base would have been okay with that in the second year, Gerard Mayo, because they would have felt there was an upswing. How might the Patriots have worked out with Gerard Mayo? Maybe that's an unfair question to ask. It doesn't do Gerard Mayo justice, perhaps.
So
I also don't. They have a much different roster if Mike Vrabel's not there, because a lot of his guys, Landry and Davis and guys like that, would not have been here.
I still think, regardless of the situation and outcome of where they are today and this year, that, like in the beginning, to me, I argued this, that it's still controversial, regardless of how bad Mayo played, because I've seen other coaches that were just as bad get opportunities to, like you said, Jack, had Vrabel not been available, he like, and by all intents and purposes, for all intents and purposes, he probably would have been the coach this year. But I agree with Keith also that he probably wouldn't have had all the players that he's had, and they might not have fared as well as the way they are today. But the only problem I have with that particular thing is that you're looking at there were no black coaching hires this year, and again, we are in a league that has 70% African American that play the game, and it's still still having an issue with guys that aren't getting coaching.
The rule's a joke.
It's just what it is.
It's a joke. The Rooney Rule's a joke. Look at the Patriots, and again, I'll call them out on this. When they hired Mike Vrabel, they brought in minority candidates that they would never have hired in a million years. There were guys nobody else was even interviewing. So it's they made
it's just to say that they met the requirement of what the rule is to bring someone in just to placate. So they said, hey, let's check this box. We actually did this. And now let's go ahead with our hire. I mean, we see it across.
They didn't even make it.
To me, they should do away with the Rooney Rule because the case in point would be Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones hasn't hired a black head coach. He's the owner. That's his right. He could hire whoever the heck he wants if you're owning a team, whatever. You can't force the coach on an owner. But why have the Rooney Rule? And it's demeaning to the guy being interviewed. Unless he feels he can come up with such a good interview, it might get him another job in the organization, which means money and security from down the road. But I think the Rooney Rule was a good idea when it first started, but it's run its course. It really has.
He's figured out how to get around it.
You can't force an owner to hire a particular coach.
I'll tell you, I've never seen a team more blatantly flaunt the Rooney Rule than the Patriots did last year, though, because I can't name. I guarantee you, nobody on this panel, looking it up, can name one guy that was interviewed. None of them have ever been interviewed before, and none of them will ever be interviewed again by an NFL.
But I don't blame Robert Kraft. He got his guy in Mike Vrabel, the best.
I understand. I'm only talking about the rule being a joke. Yeah. That's all. That's all I'm talking about. Listen, I guarantee you what I know about Bob Kraft. He is not happy that he had to let a good, loyal soldier like Jordan Mayo go. He still feels bad about firing Pete Carroll 30 years ago. So I guarantee it wasn't easy for him to do, but he knew he had to move on, and he only have one shot at it.
With the Rooney Rule, I would just focus on a handful of organizations that haven't hired a black coach, like the Cowboys, the Giants, and investigate, well, what's the reason you haven't done it? If you have a great candidate like Mike Vrabel, you hire Mike Vrabel. That's your guy. You're hiring the best possible guy. But some of these other hirings, like Brian Schottenheimer, they don't exactly bowl you over. Not that he's not a good football man, Brian Schottenheimer, but come on. I mean, but Jerry Jones, hasn't. The Giants haven't. There's some other teams that haven't, and it should be looked into the reasons why.
This is where you look at society now. I'm going to say this is where you look at society now. And it's not in the situation where we're looking at civil rights issues that were in the 60s, 50s, and 60s, where actual people, their livelihoods and their lives were at stake, and people actually had to boycott. So these guys are too comfortable now to even attempt to do something like that. When I say 70% of the league is black or African American, let me finish. You can't figure a way to say, okay, potentially, I'm a smart enough guy. When my career is done, maybe this is the direction I want to go in. But if I'm going to go into this direction, is this how it's going to be? I mean, is where I'm a candidate to get in line for the job, but I'm never going to get an opportunity because they're going to hire. It's a spoil system where they're going to hire who they want in the system. And I hate to say this good old boy system. These older guys. I think when younger owners come into play, the things might change. You might look at people looking at, okay, I'm going to hire the best candidate. I'm not going to, regardless of color of skin, regardless of who I know, I'm going to hire somebody that suits the job, that fits the job, regardless of the color of your skin. But until these guys begin to boycott or say, because they're comfortable. They're getting millions of dollars. They're getting a lot of money to say, well, I'm not going to bite the hand that feeds me. So I might as well do that. But that would be the issue. That would be where you get actual change, is when you say, I'm going to do this collectively as a group. But no one does that. Forget football. There's issues outside in life, and nobody's boycotting in certain things. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
And on top of that, you got to have ownership to do that too. There's not any black ownership. I mean, legitimately black ownership that owns a team. And when you get that, then you'll have these changes, because they're going to be in that club now. They're going to be in a club with the good old boys. So they're going to start shutting mouths up. And that's what they need. This is what needs to happen. A black owner needs to take over a team. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I agree with what you. I agree with all these arguments. The only argument I don't like coming up, I don't want to hear that 70% of the players are black as a reason, because then I could throw this, and I'm playing devil's advocate now. I'm playing strictly devil's advocate, not my opinion. I could say, well, 95% of the people in the stadium are white. And I could, that doesn't justify white head coaches. Not at all. It's just like the amount of players doesn't justify. You want the best person on the job. And certain owners, like I said, like Jerry Jones and the Giants, you could sense something there that, I
have to disagree with your analysis there, Jack, because the fans aren't playing the game. They don't understand the intricacies of the game. Most guys who coach, most guys who coach are former players. Most guys who coach are former players and stuff.
I agree with you completely, but the bottom line is this with the owners at the end of the day, it's about money to them. They don't care how they get money. They want to win, but winning translates into money for the most part.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's really sad that we have a sport that is supposed to be created for unity and fun and all this stuff, and we don't see that because we still can't escape the norms of society, such as what we're seeing here, the obvious separation. And I just think that it's almost like this has been an age-old issue. Like this is an age-old issue, like before our time. And it almost seems like how James said, no solution in sight. It's just sadly, a moment of just being desensitized, because hey, just close your mouth, play the game, rah, 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 Super Bowl, end of season, next season. And so
I just want to win.
Yeah,
Put a guy in a dresser. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching.
Listen, be careful, Keith, because I've already seen you guys as cheerleader up there, Mr. Greer.
I got with the Jets a 1-year coach who's black, Aaron Glenn, and what can I say? It hasn't worked out, but it's good. Any first-year coach who has only 1 year, and we were talking about Gerard Mayo before, should we necessarily feel obligated to give them a second year? If they're not our guy, isn't 1 year it might become apparent? Sometimes you don't want to move on too quick.
Well, stop putting minority coaches in the area where they're playing on a bad. I mean, they're coaching a bad team. This is always what happens.
Coaches. He's not going to go.
What always happens.
Let's
do the Rooney rule.
Teams.
Let's have a head coach that coaches a bad team. I mean, Pittsburgh is the
outlier.
The outlier. But
Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy did pretty good. Jim Caldwell did pretty good.
Yeah, well, Jim Caldwell was under Tony Dungy, but Tony Dungy, I agree with you with Tony Dungy. Tampa Bay was garbage before Tony Dungy got there. And so he built the great but he's the coach that got in the door and made ways for himself. But at the same time, he was fired when he didn't get to the Super Bowl. So sometimes it's just
Gruden won with his players.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that go. Like I said, Jack, I if it's about the color of money, That's what it should be about. Green. Shouldn't be about black and white. Everybody should have a fair shot at whatever the heck that they have to do. Be an owner, be a head coach, be a GM. I mean, we got plenty of black GMs. I'll tell you that much. So if you can sit there and have that ultimate, sit there and have that ultimatum in there, then they can be owners as well. They can be head coaches. They can be this and they can be that. It's stupid. They're human beings. Everybody's a human being.
No.
The smartness has to go with the green. That's what it has to be.
I agree 100% of what you're saying, 100%. But getting back to the original thing we talked about, then we maybe wrap it up. The Rooney Rule. At this point, it's not having the desired effect.
No, it's
that's the point I think we're all trying to make, and it's got to be addressed. It's a sham in certain situations. Like New England, we knew they were going to hire Mike Vrabel. To call guys in for interviews,
Don't forget, they also bypassed the whole rule when they hired Gerard Mayo. They didn't interview anybody. Black, white, or green. They didn't hire they didn't interview anybody else because he was designated as in his contract that he get the job. Right? That's not in the spirit of the rules either, by the way. So they did it twice.
And as Richard, as far as Mike Flores biting the hand that feeds him, it's not biting the hand. If he feels he was unjustly served, if he's unjustly served, because he's got the right to do that. That's his right. I mean, if the NFL is going to act like a bunch of boobs and not let him have a head coaching job because of that certain situation, then that's too, it's idiotic to me.
Well, Brian Flores did it to himself. Now he's the one.
No, he didn't do it to himself.
Oh, absolutely.
The owners of Bozo.
You're suing the owners. You're accusing them of telling it to tank games.
You're accusing them of something they do on a normal basis, Jack. That's the point.
I like
Brian Flores refused to tank games. That's why he got fired.
There's a good chance I would hire Brian Flores because I think he's a heck of a coach. I like him as the Miami head coach. I mean, but Brian Flores
got fired in Miami because he wouldn't tank games. That's why he got fired.
He's a defensive coordinator for the Vikings.
So Jack, he wasn't supposed to say anything. He wasn't supposed to say anything about what happened. Nothing.
He did not get the Giant job. He was disappointed at the job he wanted.
No, the fact. First of all, how is he finding out that he didn't get the job by Belichick texting him the wrong person? How is that? How does that even happen?
He has a right to be upset not getting a job. I mean,
we don't know Belichick.
How he found out? Hold on, Jack. Hold on. How he found out was egregious. Bill Belichick accidentally, and I think Bill Belichick was not. I think he didn't accidentally text the wrong person. Him and he went under. I guess Brian Dable when he got the job, he meant to text him. But he texted Brian Flores and said, "Congratulations." So if I find out that you're texting me that I'm not getting, I'm thinking I'm getting a job here, but you're texting the wrong person. How do you know that?
Right.
How did you get this information?
Right.
That tells me that this is a system that's set up.
Hey,
I forgot about that.
I tell you something. I kind of want to wrap this up so we can get to who we feel is going to win the game. For the last.
Is there a game today?
I think this is obviously an appropriate comment, being the fact that it is Black History Month and we're having this conversation. So I mean, it fits in well. It fits in well. It fits in well. And like me, I'm gonna tell you something. Me personally, I don't believe in Black History Month because Black History Month is 12 months, 365 times a year, 24/7. So that's me. I grew up in that kind of thing. So it doesn't make a difference to me. But anyway. Last 10 minutes, I want to hear from everybody who you think is going to win this game. Sonia, you're first. Seattle or New England? Who you got? And who's your MVP?
Unfortunately, Seattle will probably win. My MVP will probably be, because they normally take it from the winner, right? You never have an MVP from the losing team.
Okay? One time. Chuck Howley.
Yikes.
Who was that?
Chuck Howley. I think Chuck Howley was the only guy to get it from the losing team. Dallas Cowboys against the Colts. Check me, Jack.
Yeah, all right. So
that was Super Bowl 5, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Let's be clear. I want the Patriots to win, but because I know Statistically, they may not. I'm sorry, Keith. The MVP would probably go to JSN, in my opinion, for the winning team. But I hope the Patriots win. I hope I'm wrong, Keith. Go Pat.
Me too.
All right, who you got, Keith?
I like Seattle as well, and here's well, I've pretty much given my entire analysis of why I think how this team will win today, and I like the Patriots. I keep every time I think it'll be an ugly game like we've seen the last 3 playoff games for the Patriots, and winning ugly's fine. Again, it's all about who wins. That no style points anymore or ever. It very likely could turn into a shootout because I think it's going to be so ugly. If Sam Darnold plays well, then Drake May's got to play well. And it can't be an ugly football game if Sam Darnold plays well. But that said, I think the Patriots win this game 26-24 on a field goal by Borregales to win the game in honor of Vinatieri getting in the Hall of Fame. We're doing such things as that. My MVP, I'm going to stick with Kayshon Boutte. 2 touchdowns, 2 big touchdowns today for Boutte, and maybe a close second, Gonzalez shutting down the aforementioned JSN somehow. Not sure how yet, but there's my pick.
Who you got, Jack?
I think the Patriots have better individual pieces than Seattle. I mean, we think of Seattle as a unit, but I like the individual pieces. I like the Patriots 23-17. I think Stephon Diggs has a great game, but Drake May gets the MVP, and then we're going to hear the racial angle involved because it should have gone to Stephon Diggs, and then the NFL is going to have to answer that. I'm talking reality. I think Stephon Diggs has a tremendous game today. He's going to have about 12 catches, and comparisons are going to be made. Well, Cooper Kupp got the MVP, and they're going to, with the Rams, and they're going to try to compare games. Wouldn't that be ironic? Everyone of Cooper Kupp had a great game for Seattle and won the MVP. Good. He would have gotten it for the Rams in Seattle, 2 separate Super Bowls, a receiver. That would be legendary stuff, wouldn't it? But I like the Patriots 23-17. Drake May to get the MVP, but Stephon Diggs in reality might be getting my vote, for that.
Just real quick to Jack's point about Drake May, he could go 1 for 20 to the fourth quarter. If he leads them on a touchdown winning drive, he gets the MVP. That will happen.
And I want him to as well. Carolina guy, love him.
Of course you do. Anyway, Jack.
Maybe I'm the lone. I need a cowboy hat and a mask because I might be the Lone Ranger here. I think that Seattle is the team to beat, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be. I think both defenses are great, but I think the offenses are going to really towards the latter part of the third and fourth quarter are going to bring it on. And on Friday night with the fellas, I definitely picked Seattle to win a 38-28 game, but I'm not going to say it's that far. I'm going to say a closer game in 38-35, and I'm picking Seattle, and I think Sam Darnold. I think the team that turns the ball over will be the team that loses, and I may think that Drake May might have a couple in him, but I don't understand why they're looking at Jackson Smith and Jigba as the only weapon on that offense. Rashid Shaheed caught a 50-yard bomb against a great defense in the Rams. And you also have Cooper Kupp, as you mentioned, Jack. Cooper Kupp, he looks motivated as well. And then, of course, they got a running game with, although they're missing Zach Charbonnet, they do have Kenneth Walker. And I think this is going to be the game. And the MVP will be Sam Darnold. I'm gonna go with Richard said. Exercising ghost. I'm gonna go with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, you're not a Lone Ranger. I said Seattle. I just don't want them to win because I agree with Steve-O. I don't want Seattle celebrating in their divisional rivals locker room. Like that's blasphemy.
Who cares?
Who
Let's
cares
go,
about
Pat.
that? Nobody cares about that.
That's a NFC West hate. That's what that is.
I would
Anyway.
care. I would personally care. I don't want nobody from the South playing in our stadium, which I never have to worry about and celebrate it.
still
You
gotta
gotta
send me-
beat them. You gotta beat them.
It's
You
just
gotta
as
beat
petty
'em.
as I
Stop
am.
from doing it.
It's petty like I am. It's kind of like I don't want if an NFC North team gets into the Super Bowl, if it ain't the Lions, I don't want them to win. Screw it. I want the AFC side to win.
I
Exactly.
follow my money.
But I will always will want the NFC to win, unless it's NFC
Unless
North
it's-
team.
yep,
That's not the
facts.
Lions.
Yep.
Sonia,
Fact.
So,
Sonia still owes me a spreadsheet of all the teams and people she hates. I have to have that spreadsheet. I can't keep track.
I've already
Yeah,
scratched
because
Patriots. The Patriots name was on that list, but I've marked through it since you guys made a Super Bowl.
well,
It'll be back next year.
The pretty sports lady will have to call you the petty sports lady.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think Pink Fan Fur gave me the name the Pretty Sports Lady, so it's on TikTok, but I'm gonna take the R out.
I mean, it
with
both
Petty
fits, but
Sports Lady.
you know, at this point, it's the petty one. Yeah,
The Petty
right now.
Sports Lady. I
Right.
think I may change it. I'm gonna tell Pink.
Well, my prediction is that Seattle win, and like James said, it will be a high-scoring game. Hey, look at it like this: New England. This is going to be the best weather New England's played into the playoffs right now.
That's a good
in
point,
Santa
too.
Clara. And I think I'll you know, being that the NFL is turning to the offensive minded, and we try to get some defense in there this year. I really thought that the defenses, we played homage to a lot of the defenses in the league that played really well, and I think that buck stops here though. This is the Super Bowl, and I believe that Seattle will win like 30-27. My MVP of the game is going to be Kenneth Walker Jr. because I think that he has got some of that spurt in him that he had in his rookie year, and he's just turned on a different notch right now in his contract year too. So
Don't
That
forget
helps.
the comment. Don't forget that last comment that just popped up. And that's
what,
just
they left cigars in the locker room last time. Hey, could have left bottles of wine there. I don't know about the cigars, but the bottles of champagne would have been great to leave behind.
Yeah, but it was for them, not for them. It was for Seattle. That's horrible.
That's the NFC West NFC West hatred. That's all that is to it. I'm sure Carolina's, that division, you had the same thing happen there. New England's division had the same thing. Jack, you and Keith have the same division, so I'm sure
I follow them. If my team's not in it, I follow the money. Whoever I bet to, I root for.
Oh, wow.
It could be the Jets. It's not likely to be the Jets, but it could be the Jets.
Yeah, I never know for sure who I'm going to be rooting for if it's not my team till the game is played. But right at this moment, sorry, Keith, I'm kind of rooting for Sam Darnold, former Jet, likable guy. He wins today's game. He's stamped in a good way forever, no matter what he does.
I agree.
Come back
I
for
agree.
real. Come back.
And regardless who wins or who loses this game, I hope it's a very good game. I hope it's not one of those boring games that we've seen before in the Super Bowl. I hope everything works well. I hope the whole game goes as planned. I know a lot of people have differences about the halftime show. Just enjoy, and the commercials are going to be. I hope the commercials are good. They're starting to get a little bit pasty.
I won't get them here. We don't get the commercials here.
Well, you might be fortunate in that event, but anyway, depending on the commercials. But just have a good time. Have even if you're by yourself, have a good time. Buy you a pizza, whatever. Have some snacks out there. Watch the game. Last game is the last game of football for a few months. So enjoy it. Enjoy it, no matter if your team's in it or not.
I can guarantee you one thing that'll happen today. The opening kickoff's going to get run back for a touchdown because I'm in a 60-minute pool where you get paid every minute you have the right score. I have 0-0 to start the game. I guarantee you there'll be an opening kickoff and I won't make a nickel.
And hey, Keith is keeping up with the NFL tradition of the betting game. That's the
Gotta
big
bet
part
the
of
game, man. I'm on the Patriots. I got
Yeah,
a futures bet on the Patriots. I got the game bet. I got a lot going on today.
See, There you go. NFL would be proud of you, Keith.
And I don't want any money. I want the trophy. I don't care about the money.
Well, yeah.
I'll go to work and make more money. Oh, I don't work anymore. That doesn't work.
Right. There you go. Gotta look at it that way. Anyway, this will conclude our show for today. Remember to tune in to us next Sunday. We will have other sports obviously going on. So we got a lot about NBA trades. We got the All-Star game coming up for the NBA. Happy Valentine's Day in the present tense to those who celebrate Valentine's Day. Other than that, keep watching our network. We're going to have plenty of shows on for you. Everybody have a great Super Bowl Sunday. Peace
Go
out.
Pat. I won't say the word. Let's effing go.